Could you see the relief in his eyes? I know how he feels. It's not just a blade. In a way, he gave him back his father, and that was worth the fight.
Come by Bellathor's shop at the market. I'm sure we've got something in there.
Come to chat with an old woman, hmm? Do your good deed for the day.
Divine smile on you, friend.
We've been awaiting your return.
Why were you waiting for me?
Come, follow me.
Brothers and sisters of the Circle, today we welcome a new soul into our mortal fold. This woman has endured, has challenged, and has shown her valor. Who will speak for her?
I stand witness to the courage of the soul before us.
Would you raise your shield in her defense?
I would stand at her back, that the world might never overtake us.
And would you raise your sword in her honor?
It stands ready to meet the blood of her foes.
And would you raise a mug in her name?
I would lead the song of triumph as our mead hall reveled in her stories.
Then the judgment of this circle is complete. Her heart beats with fury and courage that have united the companions since the days of the distant green summers. Let it beat with ours, that the mountains may echo and our enemies may tremble at the call.
It
shall
shall
be
be
so. Kaidan.
Well,
or should I
girl,
say
you're
sweet.
one of us now. I trust you won't disappoint.
Girl, we get...
Skjor says that I have the strength of Ysgramor, and my brother has his smarts.
I'm looking for work.
There's some trouble in Eastmarch. Farmers getting troubled by some bad types who built up a stronghold in the area.
What kind of trouble should I expect?
Nothing but a bunch of lonely bandits. Cowards who will take little effort.
I'll take care of it.
Excellent. Show them no mercy.
Doors, wares, and weapons, all for sale.
such a soothing touch. Takes the pain right away, it does. It's dark in here. Watch your step. Boy, fight now, eh?
Let it be a lesson to others. Come here and do your worst. You are dead! Victory or summon God! Yes!
You picked a bad tactic.
Never should have come here.
Ah, found you! It's nothing! Go ahead! Try and fight back!
Trouble solved.
Skjor says that I have the strength of Ysgramor, and my brother has his smarts.
I've taken care of the problem.
And I've already received word that the client is satisfied. You have done well for yourself, and for the companions.
I'm looking for work.
Skjor was looking for you before. Talk to him before doing anything else. Brother, I really like this one. They fought with honor, and unlike the last whelp, this one didn't run screaming straight into a blade trap at the first sight of a Draugr.
Aye, they have courage. I'll give you that. Made of stronger stuff than I first thought. Didn't think they'd be bringing Kaidan along. Last I heard of him, he was heading back across the border. Wish he would stop glaring at everyone that way. He's likely to turn the ale sour.
You do realise I'm standing right here, don't you? At least I bathe.
Ah, there you are.
You wanted to see me?
Yes. I have something a little different planned this time. But it's not for everyone to hear. Meet me in the Underforge tonight. We will speak more.
It can be harder to balance a strike.
Where is this Underforge?
I forget that you've never seen it. Beneath the Skyforge, where Yorland works. The door is hidden, but I will show you the way.
Or you'll fall right over.
What does it mean to be a companion?
I wish more of our ranks asked such questions. I've started seeing the companions as a kind of family. I've battled next to every man and woman here, and the bonds of sweat are stronger than those of blood. I would trust anyone here with my life, which is more than I'd say for the milk drinkers who raised me. I'll take my leave then. Not here. The Underforge. Come on. Are you prepared?
What is this place?
Here's all you need to know. Jorvaskr is the oldest building in Whiterun. The Skyforge was here long before it was. And the Underforge taps an ancient magic that is older than men or elves. We bring you here to make you stronger, new blood. Now let's move. I'm glad you came. It's been a long time since we had a heart like yours among our numbers. That pitiful ceremony behind the hall does not befit warriors like us. You are due more honor than some calls and feasting. I would hope you recognize Ayla, even in this form. She's agreed to be your forebear. We do this in secret because Kodlak is too busy trying to throw away this great gift we've been granted. He thinks we've been cursed, but we've been blessed. How can something that gives this kind of prowess be a curse? So we take matters into our own hands. To reach the heights of the Companions, you must join with us in the shared blood of the wolf. Are you prepared to join your spirit with the beast world, friend?
I'm ready.
Very well.
Fuck me. Easy now. You remember me, right?
Yours was not an easy transformation, but you're still alive, so congratulations. We even have a celebration planned for you. There's a pack of werewolf hunters camped nearby, at Gallows Rock. The Silver Hand. I think you've met them before. We're going to slaughter them. All of them. Lead on. Skior's already scouting ahead.
What just happened?
You were born into the pack, sister. I almost envy you. That first time is always the most intense. You gave us even more trouble than Farkas did at his first turning.
Am I a werewolf now?
You have the blood of the wolf in you. You'll need to build up your strength before you can call on it again, though. Just be careful where you do it. Some cowards in this land can't stand the sight of glory before them.
What does it mean to be a werewolf?
Nothing until you choose to use it. Then, well, you got a taste. Stronger, faster. It doesn't last long, though. The blood of your foes can sustain you, if you're willing to feed. The more we feed, the greater our prowess will grow. We could perhaps discover even more gifts of Hircine.
Is there a cure?
Cure? Ha! You're sounding like the old man. I shouldn't say that. I love Kodlak. I respect and follow him. But he's wrong on this. It's no curse. We're made into the greatest hunters in the land. If he's worried about some mead-swilling afterlife in Sovngarde, he's free to pursue it. I'll take the glories of the hunt right here.
Where are we going?
The Silver Hand have taken over the old fort at Gallows Rock. They always make such easy prey.
Fuck me! Are you alright?
Well, I'm not chasing my tail anymore. Think that means I'm fine. Let's do this.
Well, alright then. I'm ready. Let's go. Alright then. What was that? Is someone there?
Look at this. Cowards must have locked the place down after Skior charged in. You can taste the fear.
Fantastic. Strike them down first.
Gods, no! I will destroy you!
Screw you! Damn you!
My thanks. I feel better.
I was just doing what I do best.
There's a dead one, isn't there? Thought so. Nobody we know by the smell. Some can't separate the animal from themselves. Go feral. This poor sod could have been anyone. We should keep moving. No surprise they keep vermin from them.
Good bloody job.
Time to end this. Let's do this.
I do what I do. If you don't like it, tough.
Nothing we can do for these ones now. Don't even want to think about what those cretins did to them before they died.
You want to do this the hard way? Fine. You can go to hell.
I'm getting out of here.
This can't be good. Let's fucking do it.
I'm ending this right now! You little shit! Fall to my blade!
You're a bit distracting in a fight. I mean, I like watching you fight. I like watching you in that fight. Right, let's go.
Do your worst.
Dead bodies always bring scavengers of the two- and four-legged kind.
Bring it on! You're dead! Dead! Give up! Son of a... I've had worse. Sick of it.
I was sure I heard something.
Is someone there?
We're getting close now. Be careful. Their leader is a tricky one. They call him the Skinner. I don't think I need to tell you why.
Huh?
Feel the wrath of my blades!
That's what he's got! No, not like this.
You bastard!
Come on.
Fuck off!
The bastards. Somehow they managed to kill Skior. He was one of the strongest we had, but numbers can overwhelm. He should not have come without a shield brother. Get out of here. I'm going to make sure we got the last of them, and see if there's any information to be gotten from the bodies. You and I have work to do. The Silver Hand will tremble at our sight.
What's our first target?
Good that you're so eager. I've caught wind that one of the Brighter Silver Hand has been sniffing around the rift. If you can sneak into their camp and steal her plans, we'll have the advantage. I'm gonna find whoever did this.
Strong walls and towers, very defensible.
Skior has gone alone into the Great Hunt. Perhaps someday that thought will bring us all.
I'm in no mood for shit today. That's the end of it. That cave could make good shelter, provided we clear out whatever's inside. Watch that a mudcrab doesn't nip you on the arse, ugly bastards. Good words. Oh, it's fucking freezing.
Can you build a campfire?
No worries. Got you a present, lass.
Any thoughts?
Beautiful out here. Never seen skies like that anywhere else in Tamriel.
About surviving out here.
Aye.
I'm exhausted.
Maybe we should rest for the night.
Could you set up a campsite?
Okay, give me a minute and I'll set up a tent. You'll be safe and warm inside. Aye, all right.
I'm sorry for Skjor, but he died fighting. I'm sure it's how he'd wanted it.
Huh, that combat dummy, is that a hint then?
You're good in a fight, but there's always room to improve. My guardian used to say that the day I stopped training would be the day I accepted dying.
He wasn't wrong. Maybe we could spar sometime, be good practice for us both.
Aye, I'd like that. I've got a few tricks I could show you, although I think I'll be doing a fair bit of learning as well.
Didn't you say you've done bounties before, Kaidan? With the twins, I mean.
Aye, I did a score or so with them over the span of about 3 years before you and I met. Why do you ask?
You've never really talked about your bounty hunting days, and I thought...
Feel a bit curious, are you? You know, I met them while hunting down a bounty. Bit of a funny story that one turned out to be. I could tell you it if you like.
Oh yes, please. I absolutely and unequivocally would love to hear it.
I was in Everstead, and about a week before, a traveller passed through, taking his 2 young daughters up the steps to visit one of the shrines. Not sure what he was bloody well thinking. The mountain weather was always poor that time of year, and they'd not been dressed for it. I was at the inn, and I was having my first hot meal in days, when the father, he comes running inside, dragging his oldest daughter by the arm behind him. And he kept yelling about a monster that came out of the snow. Anyway, as he said, it swooped down and snatched up his youngest lass from where they'd been huddled together while waiting for the storm to pass. The thing ran off with her up the mountain before he could stop it. The man says he heard her screaming, but before he could give it chase, she suddenly stopped, and he knew there was no hope of saving her. So, soon as the weather cleared, he hustled his arse back to town to get the other one to safety and find himself a hunter.
This is not what I expected. You said it was a funny story.
Hey now, I've not gotten to the funny part yet, trust me.
Fine, keep going. But if this story ends sadly, it won't go well for you.
Fair enough. The father, he saw me sitting there with me weapons on me back and rushed over. Offered me all the coin he had, which was a pretty tidy sum too. And he said he knew his lass was gone, only he couldn't bear the thought of having nothing left of her to bury. And he wanted that creature hunted down. The way the younger one was crying and clinging to him. Well, let's see, I felt motivated to get a bit of vengeance for their loss. So I told him to keep his coin, and I set out.
I don't blame you, that poor man and his children. Go on, what happened?
I made it all the way up to where she'd been taken. Although, after how he described the attack, it seemed odd that there was no blood trail. But I followed its tracks quickly enough, and high on the mountain where the air was thin, I found its lair. And as soon as I stepped inside the cave, and before my eyes could adjust to the darkness, something grabbed a hold of me. It slammed me into a wall so hard it left me seeing stars, and it knocked me sword out of my hand skittering. Despite being smaller than it had been described, that shaggy beast was fucking strong, and it kept growling and grunting while I fought it. Did I mention it stank? Oh, it stank so bad my eyes were watering, and having no choice, I resorted to fighting using the weapons I'd been born with. Namely, me fists. And I managed to get a good few solid punches in, and then the fucking thing called me a damn bastard and yelled at me to hold still so he could bloody kill me already.
I beg your pardon.
Before I could reply, I was blinded by a light when a figure walked around the corner to grunt a complaint about the noise we were making. That was when I got me first good look at, not what, but rather who I'd been fighting.
No, you're not seriously telling me that it was...
Yes, it was Farkas! Teeth bared and latched onto me like a barnacle, and Vilkas glaring at the pair of us while grumbling like an old woman. Once his brother let go of us, Vilkas started blathering on like he does about how I should leave and let the professionals handle it. He claimed the creature was their bounty, and said another victim who managed to flee with his life had hired him to kill it. Of course I said I think the fuck not, seeing as I'd been hired to find the girl's remains and kill the beast too. So I made it real clear to both of them that I'd not be leaving without keeping me word either.
I still don't see the funny in this, except that Farkas got the better of you.
Well, the hells he did. I was given as good as I got. Anyway, that's not the point of the story. We were arguing, and Farkas was in my face growling about how they had called dibs when it happened. From out of nowhere, this massive beast covered in thick white fur bursts out the side of a corridor and tackles him. Vilkas, of course, threw down the torch, given he couldn't fight while holding onto it without setting his brother's hair on fire. Then he leaps onto the thing's back and grabs hold of its wrists to try and stop it from throttling his brother.
And you? What were you doing?
Seeing as they said it was their bounty, not a damn thing. When Farkas shouted at me asking if I was going to stop twiddling me thumbs or get off my arse and lend a hand, I took a sip from my water skin before reminding him he called dibs, then offered some friendly advice on his fighting tactics.
You did not!
Oh, yes I did. And it bit me on the arse a few moments later when the damn thing threw them across the cave and charged at me. Whew. And as I said, Farkas stank. Well, this thing was 10 times worse. The bastard grabbed hold of my arms and lifted me over its head. It had me dangling there and flailing about like a rabbit in a string trap. And no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't break free of its hold.
But where were the twins?
Wait, I caught a glimpse of them the third time the thing tossed me down and lifted me up again. Farkas, that wanker, was cleaning under his nails with a dagger and hollering out encouragement for the damn beast. And Vilkas, well, he was leaning against a wall eating an apple and criticising my footwork. Me fucking footwork! Not that footwork bloody well mattered when I was being slung about like a child's toy by something twice me size. Me feet weren't even touching the fucking ground!
Ha ha ha, stop, I can't breathe. What happened next?
I'm not sure how long it would have gone on. The thing kept shaking me until I couldn't tell you which way it was up or down. And then from somewhere deeper inside the cave we all heard a lass cry out.
Wait, are you serious? She was still alive?
Aye, that she was. And quick as a wink the twins jumped into the fight, and working together we took that monster down. Vilkas found her in a nest of sorts, built inside an alcove in the deepest corner of the cave. She told us that the thing had brought her up here, that it had kept her fed and warm all that time, that it had babbled at her when she cried, almost like it was trying to comfort her somehow.
I don't understand.
Well, neither did Farkas or I. Vilkas examined it and told us it was a mountain troll and female. Said they're so rare that he'd never seen one alive. He figured she'd claimed the girl as a cub for some reason. Perhaps something had happened to her own, or she'd been confused when she came across the family and saw the lass had the same hair as the colour of her fur. Vilkas had a theory that the man who hired them likely stumbled too close to the cave, and the creature had simply been trying to protect what she saw as her babe.
How you met them was funny, but oh, my heart aches for that poor troll, Kai.
It seemed more amusing at the time, given I only thought about how I met them, but looking at it now I see the sadness of it. It's a good reminder that no matter what you think of a situation, keep in mind that there's likely another side to it, eh?
And the girl, she was all right?
Not so much as a scratch on her. We bundled her up, and Farkas carried her down the mountain with Vilkas, and I clearing the way. Don't think I'll ever forget the look on her family's faces when she walked into the inn with her.
I can imagine. They must have been in shock, not to mention overjoyed.
Her father paid for our rooms and our meals, so the twins and I decided to stay and get to know each other over a few hands of cards. We parted ways in the morning, but after that we'd meet and split bounties more often than not over the next few years.
It was rather sad, but thank you for sharing. Could we do it again sometime?
Aye, as you wish. I've plenty more where that came from, and next time I'll be sure to pick one that ends a fair bit brighter.
Tell me about yourself.
Of course. What were you wondering?
You said when I met you that you'd been collecting bounties for who?
For whoever had the coin. There's always someone who wants you to do their dirty work for them. Brynjar was a bounty hunter, so I suppose I just fell into it.
Any thoughts?
Just wondering if you're holding up all right.
Not really. It feels like I woke up angry at everything today with no idea why.
I care about you, all right? You mean a lot to me. And if you ever want to talk, I'll listen.
I found a book for you.
Looks like a good read. Here, fair trade?
I need to trade some things.
Let me carry that. All right.
Crumpled note 17 for C201. Redas 17 for C201. Lirya, you know I was looking at your legs the other day and I don't know how you do it. Run everywhere like you do. Because I, for one, am fucking exhausted by the end of the day. Wait, that feels like it might have come out wrong. I wasn't staring at your legs. I was looking at your legs and you were running, you know? I mean, I was watching you run, watching your legs while you run because I was looking at them and fuck me, I don't even know what I'm trying to say because right now, all I can think about is your legs. Letter from Kaidan, 19 for C201. Lirya. Huzzah, you're Thane of Winterhold. I'd write something fancy about it and all, but the ink keeps fucking freezing my quotes with the parchment. Anyway, just know I'm proud of what you've accomplished here. Fucking freezing. Can't feel me nose, and me feet feel like blocks of ice. I'm not sure that we'll ever thaw out at this point, but yeah, pretty good job. We'll maybe go somewhere warmer now, though. Ha. Guide to Brayville. Brayville is described as one of the poorest towns in Cyrodiil. Houses are built like shacks, being wooden and stacked upon each other. The Larseist River that runs through the town serves as Brayville's sewers. Because of its location of the bay's shore and the marshes and swamps that surround it, the climate is damp. Guide to Brayville. Mara, Mother Mild, make us hale and hearty. My name is Alessia Otis, and I'd like to tell you all about Brayville. Brayville is the dark grate of the sewer drain where foul and unappetizing debris collects. It is the poorest and dirtiest of Cyrodiil's towns, the oldest and shabbiest, the most plagued by criminals, drunkards, and skooma eaters, and most popular with beast folk and other foreigners. All Brayville lacks is a coven of Daedra worshippers to make the perfect pit of villainy. And many rumors suggest that even more evil and depraved worships are practiced in secret by Brayville's wicked heathens. The town is grey, grim, and depressing. The climate is damp, and the atmosphere foul because of the fetid channels of the Larseist River that serve as Brayville's sewers, and because of the rank swamps of the lowland margins of the Niven Bay, where insects and diseases breed in abundance. The architecture of the town is remarkable for its unequaled ugliness and disorder. The houses, shops, and guilds are built from cracked and splintered timbers, soft from rot and green with mold and mildew. It is a pity that they do not fall down, for they might be rebuilt in a more pleasing manner. But rather they continue to grow on top of one another like mounded middens, reaching lofty heights of 3 and 4 stories. Beggars and thieves lounge indolently on balconies overhanging the streets and dump their refuse directly upon the unfortunate passers-by. Whole families live in teetering shacks on the tops of the buildings in unimaginable squalor. Brayville's people are dirty and dishonest. They live little better than goblins in caves, squatting in filthy tumble-down shacks. The town citizens are divided into 2 classes: the smugglers, skooma eaters, bandits, thieves, and murderers, and the wretched beggars and fools that those criminals prey upon. Brayville is ruled by crime lords, and the town guard lives in the pockets of the skooma kingpins. You will not be surprised to find there are many Argonians and Khajiit in this miserable place, since Elsewhere and Black Marsh are close by. But you may be surprised to find many orcs here. However, beast folk are comfortable in the company of other beast folk, as are thieves and brutes naturally drawn to the company of one another. Brayville is not organized into orderly districts. However, some landmarks may serve to orient the unfortunate visitor. The castle is approached by rickety bridges over the river to the east. The chapel is to the west. The shops and guilds are arranged in a line with their backs to the east wall and the channels of the river. Between the chapel and the shops and guilds are Brayville's ramshackle slums and tenements. The castle is the only sturdy, stone-built dwelling in Brayville. It's nowhere as dirty and ill-furnished as the timber shacks of the people, but it is still little better than the houses of the poorest paupers in Anvil or the Imperial City. Count Regulus Terentius, from a respectable family, once a noted tournament champion, is now widely recognized by his people as a drunken wastrel and ne'er-do-well, and his son, Gellius Terentius, is a strutting peacock who cultivates the society of crime lords and skooma eaters. Chapel stonework is in poor repair and covered with mold and mildew. The graveyard is surrounded by a ramshackle, unpainted wooden fence, and the graves are untidy and neglected. The primate is a good servant of Mara, but she is unequal to the task of driving sin and wickedness from this nigh forsaken town. The priestess is wise and well liked by those few who visit the chapel, but most people never pass once through the chapel's doors except to beg and steal. The inns are a disgrace. It is common to step over prostrate drunks and through pools of sick upon entering, and idlers, gamblers, and pickpockets swarm in the darkness and prey upon unwary travelers. A visitor foolish enough to sleep in these places should be expected to be murdered in their bed. The guilds, by contrast, are relatively clean, dry, and quiet, and one forced by necessity to spend a night in Bravil might be justified in joining the Fighters Guild or the Mages Guild despite their savage and godless ways, simply to be assured of a safe place to sleep. The shops are no worse than any other feature of Bravil, and you may be more safe in them from assault or murder on account of the prodigious provisions merchants must take to protect themselves from thieves. If you are forced by circumstance to visit Bravil, you will very soon wish to leave, and you will wish to watch your back as you leave, to be sure you are not followed by parades of bandits and assassins. Honor the 9 in prayer. Guide to Bruma. Located in Cyrodiil, north of the Imperial City, Bruma's population are mostly Nords, although other races are also present. It's also relatively cold and snow-covered. The settlement has likely been in existence since at least 1E 1167. The city's population includes followers of the Divines as well as those who follow the traditional Nordic pantheon. Father Talos, protect us all. My name is Alessia Otis, and I'd like to tell you all about Bruma. Bruma is understood to be a Nibonese county, but in truth it's more Nord than Nibonese, on account of its close proximity to the Skyrim border, and on account of the terrible cold and discomfort of its location high in the Gerald Mountains. Bruma is always cold and covered with snow, with braziers kept burning in every quarter to prevent the citizens from freezing to death. Everything is built in wood, since trees are so plentiful in the forests of the Gerals, and even rich men live here in dark, dirty wooden huts. It is little wonder that Nords are such drunken heathen savages, for life is impossible in such a climate, and one might be tempted to drink into insensibility or sell one's soul to find sanctuary from the bitter cold and relentless wind. Castle Bruma is cold and draughty, carelessly decorated, and dark with soot from the perpetually burning braziers. The smell of smoke and cinders is overpowering. The high ceilings are grand, but impossible to heat, and one is never able to get warm. The ancient layers of soot and filth encrusting the stonework make it difficult to appreciate the exceptional stone carving. Except in its stonework and grand scale, the castle is like log huts of the people, cold, dark, draughty, and dirty. Countess Nervia Kervane is a Nibinian Heartlander, a dutiful chapel-goer and a respected ruler, though she is a cunning and ruthless negotiator, and has a reputation for sharp dealing and treachery. Administration of the county is efficient and well-ordered, and a well-trained and aggressive town watch, under command of a hard-nosed Nord captain, ensures that thieves and beggars are not very troublesome, although Nords are famous for drunkenness and rioting. Access to the castle is through a gate west through the town into a courtyard. Shops, inns, guilds are located to the north, either on the western terrace near the castle gate or below the terrace north of the chapel. The chapel is the central feature of southern Bruma, with houses ranged along the inside of the walls along the east and south. The streets are cramped and barren, since few trees and plants can survive the cold, but the town is compact and quickly explored. Bruma's Nibinian citizens faithfully observe chapel Sundays rituals, but the lower classes are unregenerate followers of the heathen Nord gods, and they keep to their own secret superstitions and uncivilized practices. You will not be surprised to find you can purchase good quality weapons and armor here, for Nord smiths are famous for the quality of their wares, but you should not expect to be able to purchase books here, for Nords are ignorant and not fond of reading. The fighters and mages guilds are poor and short-staffed, for no one wants to be posted in such a grey and cold land, but at least the mages guild is kept good and warm, though I shrink from imagining what infernal engines are employed to produce and preserve that heat. May the 9 bless and save you.
Battle of Sancretor, the story of how General Talos defeated the stronghold of Sancretor. In Second Era 852, allied Nord and Breton forces crossed the borders into Cyrodiil and occupied the major passes and settlements of the Jural Mountains. Making their headquarters for the winter at Sancretor, the Nord-Breton allies dared King Cudacain's new general Talos to assault them in their mountain fastness. When they learned the General Talos had mustered an army in the dead of winter and was marching to assault Sancre-Tor, they were elated. Sancre-Tor was impregnable, its citadel on high cliffs overlooking the lower city, nestled in a high mountain basin with steep, unscalable cliffs in their rear. The Cyrodiilic army was small, poorly trained and outfitted, short on rations, and unprepared for winter campaigning. As their ragged units assembled in the lowlands beneath the citadel, the Nord-Breton allies confidently assumed that their enemy had delivered himself into their trap. The citadel was not only protected by an unscalable cliff in front and unscalable heights in their rear, but the entrance to the citadel was magically concealed under the appearance of a large mountain lake in the basin beneath the heights. Accordingly, the Nord-Breton allies left on a small force to defend the citadel, descending through lower passages to attack and overwhelm the cold, hungry Cyrodiilic forces before them. They expected to defeat, overrun, and annihilate General Talos' army, leaving no one to oppose their springtime descent into the Cyrodiilic heartlands. Thus did General Talos lure the Nord-Breton allies to their doom. Leaving a weak force in the lowlands to draw out the defenders, General Talos approached the city of Sancre-Tor from the rear, descending the supposedly unscalable heights behind the citadel and sneaking into the supposedly magically concealed entrance to the inner citadel. This remarkable feat is attributed to the agency of a single unnamed traitor, by tradition a Breton turncoat sorcerer, who revealed both the existence of an obscure mountain trail down the heights behind the citadel and the secret of the citadel entrance concealed beneath its illusory lake surface. While the Cyrodiilic army in the lowlands fought a desperate defense against a Nord-Breton sortie, General Talos and his men entered the citadel, swept aside the sparse defense, captured the Nord-Breton nobles and generals, and compelled them to surrender the citadel and their armies. The confused and demoralized Nord captives, already suspicious of the scheming High Rock sorcerer aristocracy and their overreaching dreams of heartland conquests, deserted the alliance and swore loyalty to Tiber Septim. The Skyrim generals joined their rank and file in Tiber Septim's army. The High Rock battle mage command was summarily executed, and the captive Bretons imprisoned or sold into slavery. Thus was the concerted allied invasion of Cyrodiil foiled, and General Talos' army swelled by the hardened Nord veteran troops that played so crucial a role in General Talos' succeeding campaigns, which consolidated the Colovian and Nibidnian into the core of the Cyrodiilic Empire, and which resulting in the crowning of General Talos as Emperor Tiber Septim. Historians marvel at Tiber Septim's tactical daring in assaulting a fortified mountain citadel in the dead of winter against vastly superior numbers. Later, Tiber Septim attributed his unwavering resolve against overwhelming obstacles to have been inspired by his divine vision of the Amulet of Kings in the tomb of Raymond III. The young Talos may indeed have been inspired by his belief that he was fated to recover this ancient sacred symbol of the Covenant and lead Tamriel to the high civilization of the Third Empire. Nonetheless, this should in no way reduce our admiration for the dash and genius of this defining military triumph against impossible odds.
Beggar Prince, the story of Weedle and his gifts from the Daedric Lord Namira. We look down upon the beggars of the Empire. These lost souls are the poor and wretched of the land, and every city has its beggars. Most are so poor that they have only the clothes on their backs. They eat the scraps the rest of us throw out. We toss them a coin so that we don't have to think too long about their plight. Imagine my surprise when I heard the tale of the Beggar Prince. I could not imagine what a prince of beggars would be, but here is the tale that I heard. It takes place in the First Age, when gods walk like men and Daedra stalked the wilderness with impunity. It is a time before they were all confined to oblivion. There was once a man named Weedle, or maybe it was a woman. The story goes to great lengths to avoid declaring Weedle's gender. Weedle was the 13th child of a king in Valenwood. As such, Weedle was in no position to take the throne or even inherit much property or wealth. Weedle had left the palace to find independent fortune and glory. After many days of endless forest roads and tiny villages, Weedle came upon 3 men surrounding a beggar. The beggar was swaddled in rags from head to toe, and no portion of the vagabond's body was visible. The men were intent on slaying the beggar. With a cry of rage and indignation, Weedle charged the men with sword drawn. Being simple townsfolk, armed only with pitchforks and scythes, they immediately fled from the armored figure with the shining sword. Many thanks for saving me," wheezed the beggar from beneath the heap of foul rags. Weedle could barely stand the stench. What is your name, wretch? Weedle asked. I am Namira. Unlike the townsfolk, Weedle was well learned. The name meant nothing to them, but to Weedle it was an opportunity. You are the Daedric Lord, Weedle exclaimed. Why did you allow those men to harass you? You could have slain them all with a whisper. I am pleased you recognize me, Namira rasped. I am frequently reviled by townsfolk. It pleases me to be recognized for my attribute, if not for my name. Weedle knew that Namira was the Daedric Lord of all things gross and repulsive. Diseases such as leprosy and gangrene were her domain, and where others might have seen danger, Weedle saw opportunity. Oh, great Namira, let me apprentice myself to you. I ask only that you grant me powers to make my fortune and forge a name for myself that will live through the ages. Nay, I make my way alone in the world. I have no need for an apprentice. Namira shambled off down the road. Weedle would not be put off. With a bound, Weedle was at Namira's heel, pressing the case for an apprenticeship. For 33 days and 33 nights, Weedle kept up the debate. Namira said nothing, but Weedle's voice was ceaseless. Finally, on the 33rd day, Weedle was too hoarse to talk. Namira looked back on the suddenly silent figure. Weedle knelt in the mud at her feet, open hands raised in supplication. It would seem that you have completed your apprenticeship to me after all, Namira declared. I shall grant your request. And Weedle was overjoyed. I grant you the power of disease. You may choose to be afflicted with any disease you choose, changing them at will, so long as it has visible symptoms. However, you must always bear at least one. I grant you the power of pity. You may evoke pity in anyone that sees you. Finally, I grant you the power of disregard. You may cause others to disregard your presence. Weedle was aghast. These were not boons from which a fortune could be made. They were curses, each awful in its own right, but together they were unthinkable. How am I to make my fortune and forge a name for myself with these terrible gifts? As you begged at my feet for 33 days and 33 nights, so shall you now beg for your fortune in the cities of men. Your name will become legendary among the beggars of Tamriel. The story of Weedle, the Prince of Beggars, shall be handed down throughout the generations. And it was as Namira predicted. Weedle was an irresistible beggar. None could see the wretch without desperately wanting to toss a coin at the huddled form. However, Weedle also discovered that the power of disregard gave great access to the secrets of the realms. People unknowingly said important things where Weedle could hear them, and Weedle grew to know the comings and goings of every citizen in the city. To this day, it is said that if you really want to know something, go ask the beggars. They have eyes and ears throughout the cities, and they know all the little secrets of the daily lives of their citizens.
Always surprises me how much bigger it is on the inside than the out. Nice little tent though. All the comfort of home in an itty-bitty living space. I'm at your service.
Can you pack up the campsite?
Sure thing. like the rift better than anywhere in Skyrim. The cool forests and the broken mountains. It always felt familiar to me.
Bloody dog.
I'll have your head for a throw. Be careful.
Worse, I suppose. Ah, you have such a soothing touch. Takes the pain right away, it does.
I've seen my share of Tamriel. Nothing compares to the wilds of Skyrim. She is beautiful, as she is dangerous.
How did they find us?
You dead.
We rise victorious once again. Thanks.
Someone there.
There's someone there.
And so it be. Let's do this.
Let's see what you got. Wait, on your
You should have done
You think you can take me?
It'll be so much easier when I rip you open. You should leave here while you can still walk.
I'll rip your heart out.
Mercy! Your end draws near.
Up you!
Shut the fuck up!
I've carved you into pieces. True Nords never back down. You won't win this. I'll mount your head on my wall.
Did he listen? Oh no. They always have to fight back.
That's the real art. No rough stuff, just take it and go.
What's that?
Nothing more. Let's go.
You love me much.
Damn it! Fight, coward! You'll have to get some beer every now and then. It's stupid, honey.
Tired of getting disarmed. Never enough gold. Just need one good haul.
Retire someday. Get myself an island.
Hold it. Hand over the gold.
What now?
Fight back.
Enough!
I'll kill you all myself.
Huh?
Enough!
What was that?
Oh, damn. Mercy!
Done with that then?
It's dark in here.
I've been running interference for you around here. I don't think anyone's caught on to our little campaign. Yet.
I've got the plans.
Perfect. Hopefully this will let us know more about their movement. I think we've got them on the run.
What are you talking about, Vilgus?
What's the next target?
You remember the fight?
I've been hearing rumors of Silver Hand activity. A group of them has holed up in the Pale. Run fast, my friend.
Aye.
Had you shown them a move or two, as often as you sneak
Do
sweet
not be
rolls
afraid
out
of your
of Tilma's
beast's shield,
kitchen,
sister. You are
that
two halves
fight
of
would
a
have been
whole.
a thing of
She
beauty.
is you, and you are her.
instead
Together
of a
you are
demonstration of sloppy footwork.
I mean, fine, right.
I'll let them know. Consider it an honor, Kaidan. Not to mention a chance to improve your own.
I swear to fuck, if you see sloppy footwork one more time, you best sleep
Each dawn
with
brings
one
us
eye
yet
open.
another opportunity to strike the Silver Hand. We will exterminate them like the plague of skeever that they are.
Wait. I know you.
Ah, you're fucking wrong there, Vilgus. I have been reformed.
The imported stuff. Just one last time.
Go to college.
Someone there?
Like I'm supposed to be college
Thought I heard something.
Here we go.
I'm ending this right now! You won't get the best of me!
So much easier to run.
Victory's yours, I submit! Can't wait to count out your coin.
Off.
Lying little harlot. That... That ain't mine.
Never mind.
Hand over the gold. But did he listen? Oh no.
Best start keeping
Always
sight
have to fight back.
Tired of getting this.
You picked a bad time to get lost.
You want to do this the hard way? Fine. You can go to hell.
Looks like we got ourselves a hero.
Fucking come on then! Crap! Die!
You're a bit distracting in a fight. I mean, I liked watching you fight. I liked watching you in the fight. Right, let's go.
Tell you what, you stop running so I can stab you in the back.
Mercy!
Let's finish this.
I cannot best you!
Let it be a lesson to others.
Have you been bringing the battle to the Silver Hand, friend? I wish I could be there with you. Soon enough.
I took care of that group of Silver Hand.
Excellent. Looks like you've really driven them into hiding. Keep this up. We'll wipe them out yet.
I'm looking for work.
And there is more work to be done. But I fear that Kodlak's gotten wind of our recent efforts. He's asked to see you. My advice, always be honest with the old man. But don't tell him anything he doesn't need to know.
I never thought they would actually let me join the Companions. But now it looks like they're letting anyone in these days.
Thank you for coming.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, youngling. Have a seat. I hear you've been busy of late.
Isla and I worked to avenge Skjor's death.
Your hearts are full of grief, and my own weeps at the loss of Skjor. But his death was avenged long ago. You have taken more lives than honor demanded. The cycle of retaliation may continue for some time. In any case, I have a task for you. Have you heard the story of how we came to be werewolves?
Vilkas said it was a curse laid upon the ancient companions.
The boy has a nugget of truth, but the reality is more complicated than that. It always is.
So what is the truth then?
The companions are nearly 5,000 years old. This matter of beast blood has only troubled us for a few hundred. One of my predecessors was a good but short-sighted man. He made a bargain with the witches of Glenmoral Coven. If the companions would hunt in the name of their lord Hircine, we would be granted great power.
And they became werewolves.
They did not believe the change would be permanent. The witches offered payment, like anyone else. But we had been deceived.
The witches should be hunted down for their trickery.
We'll get to that. It's not so simple as just killing them, though. The disease, you see, affects not just our bodies. It seeps into the spirit. Upon death, werewolves are claimed by Hircine for his hunting grounds. For some, this is a paradise. They want nothing more than to chase prey with their master for eternity. And that is their choice. But I am still a true Nord, and I wish for Sovngarde as my spirit home.
Is there a way to cure yourself?
That's what I've spent my twilight years trying to find out. And now I've found the answer. The witches' magic ensnared us, and only their magic can release us. They won't give it willingly, but we can extract their foul powers by force. I want you to seek them out. Go to their coven in the wilderness. Strike them down as a true warrior of the wild. And bring me their heads, the seat of their abilities. From there, we may begin to undo centuries of impurity.
It shall be done.
Good. Now move quickly, and don't leave any of them alive. Talos guide you, lass. Kaidan, you remind me a lot of myself when I was younger.
How so, Godlak?
I can see in your eyes that by nature you're a lone wolf, an experienced traveler. I would wager that as a young boy you longed to be a man. Wield a weapon. You had the warrior's fire from birth.
You can tell that then, eh? Yes, I guess you could say that's true.
Lone wolves are always welcome to rejoin a pack. You're an honorable fighter, Kaidan. We'd be glad to have you.
I do appreciate that, but I'm not alone anymore. My true pack is my companion.
Some nights I dream about the mists of Sovngarde.
It's beautiful.
I'm My Own Grandpa by Geldol, the funniest wood elf ever. Question, how many orcs does it take to light a torch? A, depends. Is an orc doing the counting? Question, what is green and hops and sizzles on lava? A, an orc acrobat. Question, why did the dark elf cross the road? Question, if a wood elf mime falls in a forest, who cares? Question, if you drop a Khajiit head first from a great height, will it land on its feet? Answer, not if you cut off the feet first. Lost Wonders of the Ages, Volume 3. Disclaimer, this book, like all other in the series, is purely speculation. It will not lead you straight to the artifacts, but it may give an adventurous treasure hunter a leg up, though it may sound that I have gleaned the exact whereabouts of each relic. These descriptions herald from tales and lore, and only relay the clues I have learned. The Crusader's relics, the arms and armor of Pelinal Whitestrake, used in his battle with Ulmaril the Unfeathered, are unique among the various wonders covered in this series. Why, you ask? Because they have been lost not once, not twice, but 3 times. They were lost the first time following the death of Pelinal after his battle with Ulmaril. They were then gathered once more by the Knights of the Nine after they were founded by Sir Amiel in 3E 111. They were lost again after the Knights disbanded following the War of the Red Diamond. The relics were collected again by the Second Divine Crusader in order to fight Ulmaril once more when he was reborn in 3E 433. The relics remained in the possession of the re-established Knights of the Nine until the Battle of the White Gold Tower, where the current champion of the Knights at that time, Dam Noriel, fell in battle with the Thalmor. The remaining Knights of the Nine managed to recover the Crusaders' relics from the battlefield before the Thalmor could get to them. Knowing the Thalmor sought to destroy the relics as they represented a divine endorsement of mankind, they decided to hide them from the Thalmor by taking the relics deeper into the Empire. The Knights left a garrison at the Priory of the Nine, knowing the Thalmor would come for the relics, while they also sent a force north to Skyrim, hoping to divide the Thalmor agents who pursued them. From amongst this group, they chose 7 knights to safekeep and hide the relics throughout Skyrim. Each knight was given a chest, crafted and blessed in the name of one of the divines, that could only be opened by one blessed by that divine, or the steward of the order themselves, bearer of the ring of Sir Amiel, founder of the order. The ring, it is said, was lost during the Thalmor's efforts to purge the knights in the memory of Pelinor Whitestrake and his legacy by hunting down the members meant to safeguard the chests. All that is known is he was awaiting his brother somewhere along the far north. 7 departed from the main force one night, taking the relics where they saw fit. Herein is contained all accounts I have uncovered about the likely whereabouts of the chests and their contents. The bearer of the sword was perhaps the most faithful, taking the relic to the Temple of the Divines in Solitude, where all the divines are worshipped, waiting for a wielder who understands the power of life and death. This chest is the only one of its brethren of which its whereabouts are known for certain. The shield of the Crusader could only be claimed by one blessed with wisdom, though the bearer chose to hide it not among the wise in the workings of the world, but in the cellar of one wise in the knowledge of passing travelers. I can only surmise that the chest must be tucked away within an inn or hostel of some sort. The bearer of the boots hid them near a fort once owned by an order dedicated to the eradication of the unnatural. They rest among native animals, waiting to be claimed by one blessed with an appreciation of nature. So much is considered unnatural to the Nords that the legendary whereabouts of this chest could almost literally be anywhere, from a dark, Falmer-infested Dwemer ruin to a dormitory room of the Winterhold's Mage College. The helm's bearer had less luck than the others. She was nearly caught by wandering Thalmor in her travels and forced to flee further north. She slipped the pursuit near a fort in the Pale, taking the helm underground in a nearby cave. The helm now languishes among the hideous cavern dwellers while it waits for a champion of beauty to recover it. Again, mention of the hideous immediately drew my thoughts to that of the Falmer or perhaps Hagravens of Skyrim. But any who seek to find it would do best to start searching the areas around ruined forts in the northern Pale for nearby caves. The armor of the Crusader awaits a champion of the age, blessed by time, to recover it from the cave in which it rests, northeast of a town of stone. The passages concerning the legend are vexing to me, to be certain. While some accounts imply that the blessing of the chest was imparted by Mara, others imply that it was Akatosh himself, which leads me to believe that the Greaves and cuirass may well be safeguarded together within the chest. As we well know through the legends of the Crusaders' relics, each of the original 8 divines bestowed a relic, and yet there are only 7 chests according to all sources concerning the chests. I would hate to think that one of the chests containing the armor of Greaves has been lost to all time. As for the location, I would only surmise that the rift is what is being spoken about, but the entire area is littered with spires from dwarven ruins, so the exact location would be very hard to determine. The bearer of the mace brought it to the fort at the crossroads of several holes, to be found by one who knows the value of honest work. An elusive legend, to be sure, and providing only a vague insight as to the location it speaks. There are several crossroads throughout Skyrim, but the most likely, perhaps, would be one of the 3 crossroads that surround Whiterun, the centralmost hold in the province. The bearer of the gauntlets believed himself a crusader in his own right, and ended up chasing a vampire through the Reach after a failed attempt to execute it. He chased the vampire into a tomb, blinded by rage, and slew him. He then realized he had run through a home of the dragon cults of old and sealed away the gauntlets before facing the undead horde he'd awakened. Hoping someone more merciful than he would claim them, he fought to the last in repentance for his failure.
The Death Blow of Abernanet by Anonymous, with notes by Geocrates Varnes. The Death of Dagoth Thras, with explains by the sage Geocrates Varnes. Broken battlements and wrecked walls, where worship of the horror once embraced, the bites of 50 winters, frost and wind, have cracked and pitted the unholy gates, and brought down the cruel obscene spire. All is dust, all is nothing more than dust. The blood has dried, and screams have echoed out. Framed by hills in the wildest forlorn place of Morrowind sits the barren bones of Abernanet. When thrice-blessed Rangedil first saw Abernanet, it burnished silver bright with power and permanence. A dreadful place, with dreadful men to guard it, with fever-glassed eyes and strength through the horror. Rangedil saw the foe's numbers was far greater than the few ordinators and buoyant armigers he led. Watching from the hills above, the field and castle of death, while it stood, it damned the souls of the people of Morrowind, accursed, iniquitous Castle Abernanet. The alarm was sounded, calling the holy warriors to battle, to answer villainy shield with justice's spear, to steel themselves to fight at the front and be brave. Rangedil too grasped his shield and thin ebon spear, and the clamor of battle began with a resounding crash, to shake the clouds down from the sky. The shield wall was smashed and blood staunched, the ground of the field, a battle like no other of Morrowind, to destroy the evil of Abernanet. The maniacal horde were skilled at arms, for certes, but the 3 holy fists of Mother, Lord, and Wizard pushed the monster's army back in charge after charge. Rangedil saw from above, urging the army to defend, Dagoth Thras himself in his pernicious tower spire, and knew that only when the heart of evil was caught would the land e'er be truly saved. He pledged then by the temple and the holy tribunal of Morrowind to take the tower of Abernanet. In a violent push the tower base was pierced, but all efforts to fell the spire came to naught, as if all the strength of the horror held that one tower. The stairwell up was steep and so tight that 2 warriors could not ascend it side by side, so single file the army clambered up and up to take the tower room and end the reign of one of the cruelest petty tyrants in the annals of Morrowind, Dagoth Thras of Abernanet. They awaited a victory cry from the first to scale the tower, but silence only returned, and then the blood, first only a rivulet and then a scarlet course, poured down the deep stairwell with the cry from above, "Dagoth Thras is besting our army one by one." Rangedil called back his army, every ordinator and buoyant armiger, and he himself ascended the stairs, passing the bloody remains of the best warriors of Morrowind to the tower room of Abernanet. Like a raven of death on its eyrie was Dagoth Thras, holding bloody shield and bloody blade at the tower room door. Every thrust of Rangedil's spear was blocked with ease. Every slash of Rangedil's blade was deflected away. Every blow of Rangedil's mace was met by the shield. Every quick arrow shot could find no purchase. For the monster's greatest power was in his dread blessing, that no weapon from no warrior found in all of Morrowind could pass the shield of Abernathy. As hour passed hour, Rangadil came to understand how his greatest warriors met their end with Dagoth Thras, where he could exhaust them by blocking their attacks, and then, thus weakened, they were simply cut down. The villain was patient and skilled with the shield, and Rangadil felt even his own mighty arms grow numb, while Dagoth Thras anticipated and blocked each cut, and Rangadil feared that without the blessing of the divine tree of Morrowind, he'd die in the Tower of Abernathy. But he still poured down blows as he yelled, "Foe, I am Rangadil, a prince of the true temple, and I've fought in many a battle, and many a warrior has tried to stop my blade and has failed. Very few can anticipate which blow I'm planning, and fewer, knowing that, know how to arrest the design, or have the strength to absorb all of my strikes. There is no greater master of shield blocking in all of Morrowind than here in the castle Abernathy. My foe, Dark Lord Dagoth Thras, before you slay me, I beg you, tell me how you know how to block." Wickedly proud, Dagoth Thras heard Rangadil's plea, and decided that before he gutted the temple champion, he would deign to give him some knowledge for the afterlife. How his instinct and reflexes worked, and as he started to explain, he realized that he did not know how he did it, and watched, puzzled, as Rangadil delivered what the tales of Morrowind called the death blow of Abernathy. Geocrates Varnus explains. The horror refers to the Daedra prince Mehrunes Dagon. 50 Winters suggests that the epic was written 50 years after the siege of Abernathy, which took place in 3rd Era 150. Thrice blessed Rangadil is Rangadil Katil, born 2nd Era 803, died 3rd Era 195. He was the commander of the Temple Ordinators, and thrice blessed by being blessed by the Tribunal of Gods. Mother, Lord, and Wizard refers to the tribunal of Almalexia, Vivec, and Sothasil. Dagoth Thras was a powerful Daedra worshipper of unknown origin who declared himself the heir of the 6th house, though there is little evidence he descended from the vanished family. Halgard's Tale by Tavi Dromio. Squabbling over the greatest warrior ever leads to a tale of heavy armor master Hlelu Passaroth. "I think the greatest warrior who ever lived had to be Vilus Nominus," offered Ziomara. "Name one other warrior who conquered more territory." "Tiber Septim, obviously," said Halgard. "He wasn't a warrior. He was an administrator, a politician," said Garaz. "And besides, acreage conquered can't be the final means of determining the best warrior. How about skill with a blade?" "There are weapons other than blades," objected Ziomara. "Why not skill with an axe, or a bow? Who was the greatest master of all weaponry?" "I can't think of one greatest master of all weaponry," said Halgard. "Balaxes of Aegia Nero in Blackmarsh was the greatest wielder of a lance. Ernse Lervu of the Ashlands is the greatest master of the club I've ever seen. The greatest master of the katana is probably an Akaviri warlord we've never heard of. As far as archery goes..." "Pellinal Whitestrake supposedly conquered all of Tamriel by himself," interrupted Ziomara. "That was before the First Era," said Garaz. "It's probably mostly myth, but there are all sorts of great warriors of the modern eras. The Cameron usurper, the unknown hero who brought together the Staff of Chaos and defeated Jaeger Tharn. We can't declare an unknown champion as the greatest warrior." "What about Nandor Barade, the Empress Kataria's champion?" suggested Ziomara. "They said he could use any weapon ever invented." "But what happened to him?" smiled Garaz. "He was drowned in the Sea of Ghosts because he couldn't get his armor off. Call me overly particular, but I think the greatest warrior in the world should know how to take armor off." "It's kind of hard to judge ability to wear armor as a skill," said Ziomara. "Either you have basic functionality in a suit of armor, or you don't." "That's not true," said Halgard. "There are masters in that as well. People who can do things while wearing armor better than we can out of armor. Have you ever heard of Hlelu Passaroth, the king's great-grandfather?" Ziomara and Garaz admitted that they had not. This was hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and Passaroth was the ruler of a great estate which he had won by right of being the greatest warrior in the land. It's been said, and truly, that much of the house's current power is based on Passaroth's earning as a warrior. Every week he held games at his castle, pitting his skill against the champions of the neighboring estates, and every week he won something. His great skill wasn't in the use of weaponry, though he was decent enough with an axe and a longsword, but in his ability to move quickly and with great agility wearing a full suit of heavy mail. There were some who said that he moved faster while wearing armor than he did out of it. Some months before this story begins, he had won the daughter of one of his neighbors, a beautiful creature named Mina, who he had made his wife. He loved her very much, but he was intensely jealous, and with good reason. She wasn't very pleased with his husbandly skills. And the only reason Mina never strayed was because Passeroth kept a close eye on her. She was, to put it kindly, naturally amorous and resentful of her position as a prize. Wherever he went, he always brought her with him. At the games, she was placed in a special box so that he could see her even while he competed. But his real competition, though he did not know it, was from a handsome young armorer he had also won at one of his competitions. Mina had noticed him, and the armorer, whose name was Terran, had certainly noticed her. "This has all the makings of a dirty joke, Hallgerd," said Ziomara with a smile. "I swear that it's entirely true," said Hallgerd. The problem facing the lovers was, of course, that they could never be alone. Perhaps because of this, it became a burning obsession to both of them. Terran decided that the best time for them to consummate their love was during the games. Mina feigned illness, so she didn't have to stay in the box, but Passeroth visited the sick room every few minutes between fights, so Terran and Mina could never get together. The sound of Passeroth's armor clunking up the stairs to visit his sick wife gave Terran the idea. He crafted his lord a new suit of armor, strong and bright and beautifully decorated. For his purposes, Terran rubbed the leg joints with Luca dust, so the more he sweated and the more he moved them, the more they'd stick together. After a little while, Terran figured, Passeroth wouldn't be able to walk very quickly and wouldn't have enough time in between fights to visit his wife. But just in case, Terran also added bells to the legs which rung loudly when they moved, so the couple would be able to hear him coming in plenty of time. When the games commenced the following week, Mina feigned illness again, and Terran presented his lord with the new armor. Passeroth was delighted with it, as Terran hoped he would be, and donned it for his first fight. Terran then stole upstairs to Mina's bedchamber. All was silent outside as the two began to make love. Suddenly, Mina noticed a peculiar expression on Terran's face, and before she had a chance to ask him about it, his head fell off at the neck. Passeroth was standing behind him with his axe in hand. "How did he get upstairs so quickly, with his leg joints gummed up? And didn't they hear the bells ringing?" asked Garaz. "Well, you see, when Passeroth realized he couldn't walk on his legs very quickly, he walked on his hands." "I don't believe it," laughed Ziomara. "What happened next?" asked Garaz. "Did Passeroth kill Mina also?" "No one knows exactly what happened next," said Hallgerd. "Passeroth didn't return for the next game, nor for the next. Finally, at the fourth game, he returned to fight, and Mina appeared in the box to watch. She didn't appear to be sick anymore. In fact, she was smiling and had a light flush to her face." "They did it!" cried Ziomara. "I don't have all the salacious details, except that after the battle, it took 10 squires 13 hours to get Passeroth's armor off because of all the Luca dust mixed with sweat." "I don't understand. You mean he didn't take his armor off when they... But how?" "Well, like I said," replied Hallgerd, "this is a story about someone who was more agile and accomplished in his armor than out of it." "Now that's skill," said Garaz.
Listen, if Kodlak's right about the witches' heads, do you think you'd want to cure yourself?
Yes, I think I'll use the cure.
Aye. We'll find a way for this to work, for you and Kodlak.
Let's rest here.
I'll get myself comfortable then. Hello again.
Tell me about yourself.
Of course. What were you wondering?
Where's your favourite place in Tamriel?
My favourite place in Tamriel? Skyrim. Yeah, Skyrim, I suppose. There's a fierceness to the land. So much beauty, even if it is fucking freezing most of the time.
What about other places?
Another favourite place would be Mournhold in Blackmarsh. It's surrounded by swamplands, and the fog lies thick everywhere. But the city itself now, that's a sight to behold, in the heart of Deshan, with giant trees growing everywhere.
Maybe I'll take you someday.
Tell me about yourself.
What's got you curious?
I'd love to be as skilled as you.
Let me show you a move or two.
Tell me about yourself.
What did you want to know?
What's your favourite food?
Favourite food? Hawker sandwiches, obviously. Although I've gotten by on pheasant, bread, and not much more. How about you?
Sweet rolls.
Well, I'm partial to sweet rolls myself. Need something?
Come on, let's get going.
Let's go.
Ah, it's nice to be warm again.